Perfect. Okay, now.
We got it?
Yeah. Have you got a start button on your screen there? Content, okay.
And start webinar.
Perfect. Is it? Yep. Perfect. There you go. Look at that.
There you go. Good morning, guys. Lachlan, how are you?
Very well. Looking forward to an interesting session. US public holiday. So I don't know which way that's going to go, but I think Europe's going to get very angry. So it'll be a good session.
Yep. So America's sleeping, Europe's awake. That's
exactly. Well, there's a big disconnect at the moment. The S&P is stuck. The Nasdaq wants to go by itself. Nasdaq never wins against the S&P, so I think everyone's going to get pulled down. There'll be a bit of panic, and we'll probably start selling. So we'll see what happens. Hey,
looking forward. All right, guys, I'll leave to it.
Thank you. All right, perfect. Now, guys and girls, I'm going to grab the technology. So let me just grab my screen here. So I hope everybody is, there we go. So I'm going to push the button there. I'm going to share my screen. Now that, guys, I'll go and grab the chat function so everybody can chat to each other. This one here. All right, so that chat function should be working quite well. I'll also go and grab the list. Good evening, everybody. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. So I know some of you are evening, others are late afternoon. Let me grab some, I'll grab some microphones, guys, just quickly. Grab some microphones and we'll get rocking and rolling. So hi, everybody. I hope you are absolutely fantastic. Now, guys, first and foremost, I've got a big jacket on today, if you don't mind. It's 7 degrees here, so 7 degrees. We are into a very, very interesting guys, we're into a very, very interesting session coming up where literally the weather next week is going to be -4. So -4 through to around about 4 or 5 degrees. So suffice to say, hope you don't mind if I've got a jacket on, guys. Winter is definitely definitely on its way. Now, guys and girls, welcome to the webinar. My name's Lockie. I'm going to host the webinar for you today. This is our first. Guys, TTP session, so the Trading Pit guys session where we've been running into a US public holiday. So that's actually kind of exciting because there will be a number of challenges, guys, in the markets today. We've got to keep a very close eye on volatility, got to keep a close eye on volume. There is a disconnect already between the European market and the US market. Now, Europeans want to sell, Nasdaq wants to buy, S&P 500 doesn't agree with the Nasdaq, so therefore the Nasdaq's ultimately going to lose that battle. So guys, we're in for a very interesting journey. Now, that being said, if it does quieten down, so if the session does go a little bit quiet, more than happy, guys, to have a look at the US close session over the last couple of days. A number of you are obviously trading the US Open, sorry, the US close as well as the European Open. Right, so if the market does slow down, guys, more than happy to help you out with the Q&A. I don't think Europe's going to slow down. I think it's going to go off like a shotgun. But then ultimately, guys, we'll probably 35, 40 minutes of trading, and I think everything will slow down a little bit, just simply because it's a US public holiday. Now, with all of that said, guys, let me run through these slides for you. Our cameras are working, our mics are working, everything looks to be going quite well. So guys, just a little bit of a preparation for the LTR trial today. Because we are going across multiple jurisdictions, we do have to go through a couple of what we call CCNs, guys, or customer caution notices. First and foremost, guys, we are going to be trading futures. Some of you are trading CFDs today as well. So we just have to be aware, guys, that when we're trading futures and also CFDs, there is risk when you're trading. Now, we've got to constantly focus on there's a risk of losing money, but we've also got to understand there's a risk of making money and making money quite quickly. So as much as we do got to be quite negative about what everything is going on in the world, as we do, we can actually be quite positive. We can make money quite quickly. Now, the flip side of that, guys, trading can be quite an emotional game, particularly when it involves margin. What does margin mean? Margin means we're going to borrow a little bit of money every time we take a trade, regardless of whether you're on CFDs or futures. So what does it ultimately mean? We can lose money quickly. We can make money quickly as well, guys. So we're going to have a very, very balanced sort of kind of presentation today. What I'm going to be doing is I'll do my best to identify the signals for you guys as per the strategies that we use. We have 10 strategies that are currently live in the market. Guys, we have an 11th strategy that is about to sort of be about to be born, guys. Probably January 2025. We'll bring out an 11th strategy for everybody to take advantage of. Guys, at the end of the day, my role is to guide you through the use of that strategy. If you've got a lot of experience in trading, guys, I'm more than happy for you to do what you normally do. If you've got no experience at all, guys, I'd ask you to sit on the fence and just watch what we're doing, get familiar with what we're doing. I have been running, guys, is the European Open live trading room. I've either been running the live trading room or I've had my own trading rooms, guys, since August of 2009. So I've caught a lot of trades, guys, caught a lot of trades. I've seen some really good trades. I've seen some really, really crappy trades. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do my best to guide you guys in and out of the market as safely as possible. Now, in that process, guys, I do need to mention everything today we're doing is general information only. Also, the past performance of all financial products now globally can no longer be used as an indicator of future performance. Guys, we used to be able to say, hey, check out what we did last week. Isn't this exciting? We're not allowed to do that anymore. So basically, we've just got to go on the merits of what we see in the charts today. Mind you, guys, more than happy to review the trades that were taken yesterday, guys, or the day before, guys, if the market does slow down and you would like me to go through that. Now, because we are, guys, because not only are we broadcasting over the internet today, but we're trading over the internet, there's an additional risk warning everyone needs to be ultimately aware of, which is called a market risk factor. Now, for some of you who are trading CFDs, you will have to cross a broker-induced price spread. The futures traders don't have to do that. So what it means is the CFD traders may actually not be able to get into the market at exactly the same price that we're talking about. Vice versa, there might be delays with data feeds and similar things. So again, everything is done over the internet, guys, as much as we're doing it as best as we possibly can. Guys, there is a risk. There is a risk that when I call a trade or identify a trade, there is a risk that you might not be able to get in exactly where I want you to get in, and ultimately vice versa. Now, guys, who am I? Basically, guys, I'm the lead trader. Again, I'm also the chief training officer at Samurai Day Trading. Guys, very, very happy to be in this role. The team at Samurai have been absolutely phenomenal. Guys, my history, I basically started futures trading in August 2007, started my own trading school in August 2009. Guys, the reason I started my own trading school is I basically couldn't find any really good trading schools in Australia. Not being rude, there was a whole lot of trading schools that were all really bad. And primarily they were bad because they were teaching people how to trade CFDs or Forex, guys, but they weren't actually explaining that both the CFD and Forex markets are very, very easily manipulated by brokers. As I found the futures market, found out we don't use brokers at all in the futures market. I haven't actually paid brokerage since August 2007. I haven't actually used a broker for anything since August 2007. Suffice to say, guys, I discovered that there was a very, very different way to trade the market called futures. It's completely devoid of broker interference, and as a result, it's quite a lot of fun. Whereas I've had the opportunity to release multiple books. I've had the opportunity to speak in multiple languages. And when I say multiple languages, I only speak English. I do apologize. But I have had the chance to speak in multiple countries. Guys, had an opportunity to present all over the world. Suffice to say, guys, futures trading is getting popular. Guys, it's growing in popularity quickly because it's not a manipulated market, which means that we, as futures traders, we hold huge advantages, guys, over Forex traders in particular. Now, that being said, guys, I'm a 15-year Army veteran, did multiple tours overseas. I'm a father of 3, husband to a keto. I'm a passionate educator. Guys, I'm also an educator that trades. As I just want to highlight to everyone out there in the world, there's a lot of educators that don't actually trade. They do a lot of talking, but don't do a lot of trading. As you'll find, the trading room this afternoon is about profit first, education second. So the trading room is designed to help experienced traders navigate the market, hit their daily performance targets, and then run away. So as you might see, guys, in the chat log, quite a few different results being put in, because some of the traders, guys, in the session today have actually been trading for a really, really long time. Now, guys, as we get into it, so as I was saying before, we're going to be targeting 10 signals today. I'm going to be using a pure price movement strategy called candlestick analysis. Mario, how are you? Hope you're fantastic. So we're going to use candlestick analysis, guys. I'm going to also be using the delta. The delta is an algorithm that we use to hunt institutional orders in the market. Now, interesting point. As a futures trader, it's very, very easy to hunt institutional orders because at the end of the day, everyone trading the NASDAQ must go to the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. There's no other way around that. Guys, so we'll use the delta to hunt. We'll use the delta to hunt them. It's actually quite good fun hunting the banks because it's a really, really effective way to trade. Now, guys, if the market does slow down, for those that have just joined us, hello, I hope you're amazing. Guys, it is US Thanksgivings today, so we do have a US public holiday. The volume and the volatility of the American markets is actually quite low compared to what it has been as all week. So we'll navigate through the first 30, 35 minutes of the session. As if the session does slow down, I'm more than happy to go and actually have a look at the trades we took yesterday in the live trading room. Guys, have a look at the trades that were on offer in the US close this morning. Again, guys, if you've got any questions at all about, S&P versus NASDAQ, FDAX versus gold or oil, if I can answer the question, I'll answer it for you. Guys, all I've done is futures trading since 2007. So there's a lot of questions I can probably answer for you. Guys, all the way down the bottom, I'm also going to focus very, very heavily on ratios and static versus dynamic entry. So a static entry is for a beginner trader. So a beginner trader waits for the candle to close. So we're going to be using a 5-minute chart strategy today. Whereas a beginner trader will wait for the candle to close before they make a decision on whether they're going to be taking a trade or not. Guys, it is a more careful and more deliberate way of trading. Guys, it typically results in a higher success rate. There are, however, guys, a number of very, very good dynamic style trades as well. So we can actually take those trades, particularly if we fail at a pivot, guys, or we fail at a Fibonacci. The key to trading dynamically is you've got to, if you want to join the buyers, for example, you've got to watch the sellers blow up their volume. So again, in the beautiful game of futures trading, it's only buyers versus sellers, and the stronger team has to win, not buyers versus sellers versus the broker, right? So we can actually monitor what the buyers and sellers are doing around the world very, very easily, watching volume, guys. So I'll show you that. I'll show you that as we get into it. Now, guys, naturally, ABC and stair-step being the foundation of ultimately everything that we do. Now, the screens will be laid out, guys, as I've highlighted for you in the graphic here. We are going to let the market do the heavy lifting. Guys, that's a concept I basically developed in 2009. Guys, why did I develop a concept like this? There's a lot of opinions out there in the world about how to trade the market really, really effectively. As we run the LTR at this point in time, well over a 90% success rate. There's a lot of people out there in the world that say you can't do that, but we do that already. So, that's kind of good fun, I suppose, kind of good fun. What you'll find is the NASDAQ is positively correlated to the S&P and the FDAX is positively correlated to the FESX. So the bottom charts are ultimately reference charts for the top charts. Guys, we do have quite a few people that are trading the S&P 500 very, very effectively. Guys, we're just going to have to watch the volume today because it obviously is a US public holiday and the volume is down. Right now, guys, what do we expect out of the session? Ultimately, the big one for us, guys, we run 2 live trading rooms on a daily basis. This is clearly the European Open. We've also got the US close. The US close trading room, guys, is going very, very well. We are going to be targeting profit first and education second. Right? So please make sure that, again, when the gun goes on the European Open, which is around 18 minutes away, guys, the focus will be on getting the FDAX traders their first couple of winning trades, and then we'll switch across to the NASDAQ and finally the S&P 500. Mind you, guys, there are a couple of trades already setting up on the NASDAQ. So if we do get a really, really nice little sell down, guys, that's going to be quite good fun. Now, further on that, guys, this particular European Open live trading room, I've been on this one for 12 years. It means I've caught a lot of trades. Ultimately, what does that mean, guys? There's a number of traders with me that have been with me for that 12-year journey. So if you do see some big trades come in, guys, so some big numbers come in, just be aware that those traders have some pretty serious experience. Guys, every trade that I'm going to call tonight's got a plus 90% strike rate. If it's less than 90%, I simply won't call it in the live trading room or identify the signal for you. Guys, and if you do want to have a look at some of our trading history, literally jump on YouTube, go to Samurai Day Trading, guys, as the channel. There's a ton of short videos there, guys. Even videos from yesterday talking about what we did on the NASDAQ, why we did it, how we did it yesterday was quite good fun. So that being said, guys, moving on one step further. Now, if a couple of personal considerations, if I can, as I build this slide, guys, if you've never traded before, please don't be shy. So please ask questions. It's a live session, guys. I do it every day of the week. So again, if you've got any questions at all, absolutely brilliant. Even if you're a really experienced trader, guys, there's generally not a lot of questions about futures I can't answer. Guys, the flip side of that, if you're brand new to trading, please watch, listen, and learn. Guys, I'll get to your questions ideally in the last 15 minutes of the session. But if we do slow down a lot faster than that, guys, obviously I can get to the questions earlier. Guys, if you are an experienced trader, please feel free to do whatever you would like to do. I'll try and guide you in and out of the market as best as I possibly can. Guys, you may see trades I don't see and vice versa. So also, please don't be shy. Guys, what we're going to do, we're going to focus on maximizing our profit on every single trade. So what I will do, guys, is I will give you what I suggest is a volatility-defined risk control point. So once the market has moved a certain distance in our favor, guys, you'll hear me on the FDAX talk about, for example, a 5-point risk control point. Typically, what that means is the FDAX traders will have their first target at 5 points. The second target will be at 10, third target at 15, the fourth target at 20. Most of the FDAX traders know exactly what to do, guys. But if you're brand new to this session and you want to trade the FDAX, I'll be very, very clear about the entry price. Please make sure your risk control point, guys, on the FDAX is going to be around about the 5-point mark. It's not going to be a lot more than that. Whereas for the NASDAQ, based on current volatility, I think your risk control point will be around about 12 ticks today. Now, what we do, guys and girls, just to be super clear, what we do at the risk control point is we consider reducing our risk on the trade. So that's when we start to move our stop loss from where it would initially be positioned up behind the market so we can't lose any money. Guys, if we are a quiet day today, I would suggest a very, very early first target, maybe a $50 target on the NASDAQ. So around about 10 ticks, we'll cut our risk off, we'll let the profit run. The reason being is we're going to skew the risk to reward ratio massively in our favor. Whereas the risk to reward does not have to be in our favor when we start the trade. We can modify the risk to reward on the run, which we've been doing for 12 years, guys. So it works very, very well. Now, guys, that's a really, really good point on risk. If a trade does require more risk than what you are happy to trade, please don't let me romance you in and out of the market, guys. At the end of the day, you've got to be super confident with what you're doing. If I say something you don't agree with, guys, that's okay. Tell me about it, and we can build on it from there. Now, a couple of things, guys. If you're brand new to what we do, if you haven't read the book that I've just released called Brokers Exposed, it's available, guys, on our website. It talks about why we trade futures and we don't trade anything else. Guys, you've also got the YouTube channel that you can jump on, Samurai Day Trading. You've also got the free video starter pack series, guys, which is available on the website. So if you want to get into a little bit more deeper detail about what we do and why we do it, guys, all of those resources are there. They're all free. They're all ready to rock and roll. Guys, in YouTube, I think we just crossed over. Damsey, how are you? I think YouTube, guys, we just crossed over 600 subscribers. The channel, since I started building, it's only around about 10 to 12 weeks old. So suffice to say, guys, there's a lot of interest. There's a lot of interest in what we do. Guys, getting a lot of really, really good feedback, guys, on the YouTube short videos. So if you don't mind dropping comments on videos, please do, guys. Apparently YouTube loves that. Apparently that's one of the things YouTube really loves is comments on videos. So we'll jump into the live trading room, guys. What I'm going to do is I'm going to exit this PowerPoint. Okay, exit the PowerPoint for you. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to end up with a number of markets. Let me just move these little comments around. For those that haven't been in the trading session before, guys, what I do is basically, guys, go through what I believe the market is going to do. Okay, let me just move this across for you. Go through what the market is likely to do, guys, and then we can actually start to build on an expectation that Fibonacci extension is okay at this point in time. Right, so guys, down bottom left-hand corner, S&P 500. Please note, for those, I was going to say, there's going to be some traders that are already starting to move ahead. Already starting to move ahead with the trading, which is well done. So who's that? Matt, you're good. Well done. Fantastic. So Matt's already got runs on the board. Ahmed, you already got runs on the board as well. So perfect pickup. Right, so what we're going to do, let's break down the S&P 500 first. So down here, guys, the S&P 500, whoops, I'm moving my yellow comments around here. I just want everybody to note, if you are a larger chart trader, if you're a larger chart trader, the S&P 500 is in a 4-hour swing trigger long. Let me just double check that is the case. 100%. Guys, so the S&P is currently in a 4-hour swing trigger long. And the sellers are currently trying to break short on the S&P 500, and it's not going very well for them. All right, so the S&P 500 larger charts, guys, particularly the 30-minute chart, which is one of my favorite charts to do my analysis on. Guys, the 30-minute chart looks a lot like the American markets are going to buy first. They're probably going to run out of steam pretty quickly. They're going to turn and they're going to fall. So what that means for the American-based traders, If we do get a buy on the European Open, guys, that gets above these two signal levels, right? So you've got a static bar reversal short, guys, just here, and you've got a static bar reversal short a little bit higher. So if you do trade the opening candle of Europe, we get a really, really nice push to the high side. You guys are looking at, for the S&P traders, you're looking at ratio-based static bar reversals short, right? So quite a technical signal, but that's what you're looking for. The flip side of this, guys, we've got to be a little bit careful. The S&P 500 volatility at the moment, for those that are new to what we do, as that's our volatility. The PVI at the top of that box stands for Predictive Volatility Indicator. That basically says to us at the moment, the S&P 500 is a very, very low volatility. Whereas what that means is we can't expect it to go a long way quickly unless we have multiple charts agreeing at the same time. Right now, it looks like the Europeans are getting ready for a big sell. Looks like the NASDAQ traders are getting ready for a big sell. So therefore, guys, we might actually be picking up the big sell. It's going to be fueled ultimately by the S&P 500. Okay, now moving up to the NASDAQ. Guys, our volume, so our volume on the S&P 500 is still under 30,000. So a couple of days this week, guys, our volume's been well over 100,000. Today it's 30,000. What does it mean, guys? It's going to be quite a technical day. We're going to be bouncing off Fibonacci's and pivots. Now, everybody knows where those Fibonacci's and pivots are. Suffice to say, guys, for the US traders in particular, guys, what we're looking for, I'll put this comment all the way at the top of the NASDAQ here. You guys are looking for complementary signals, right? So what you're looking for is ultimately the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ to agree with each other. Guys, that's when you're going to hold a really, really high success rate, guys, in a low volume day. Noting that if the NASDAQ volume goes down the bottom here, bottom right-hand corner, if we get well below 300 contracts, guys, well below 300 contracts, we're going to have to park the NASDAQ traders for the day. Now, this only occurs typically on public holidays. As it turns out, what have we got today? You guys have got a public holiday, so fancy that. Now, what have we got, guys? What have we got? Now, I do note, guys and girls, a really, really big problem the NASDAQ traders have got. That's why the NASDAQ traders, your preference is to sell, not buy. The NASDAQ is trying to buy by itself, right? Now, that doesn't normally go well for the NASDAQ. So again, there is a really, really lovely reversal. It's really, really lovely reversal right here, guys, off the 161.8 fib extension, right? So if the NASDAQ traders do buy up here and they fail again, the NASDAQ traders are looking for a short, okay, to complement the fact that the S&P 500 looks like it wants to go down. Now, the flip side, guys, and again, something we've got to be really, really careful of today, guys, the volatility, guys, your volatility on the NASDAQ, guys, is in the 20s. So that would suggest, guys, around about a 10 to 12 tick risk control point. So a 10 to 12 tick risk control point. I'll show you where that is. If the volatility drops out of the market altogether, guys, because of the public holiday, there's no point continuing to take really, really low probability trades. Guys, we could actually turn the session into a really, really lovely bit of a masterclass Q&A. Why do we do what we do? What's this? What's that? That could actually be quite good fun. Guys, now, one thing to note about the NASDAQ, guys, one of the reasons it is buying and the S&P 500 is not, is the NASDAQ, I should say, is in an absolutely wonderful 4-hour swing trigger long. As the ratios on the NASDAQ are absolutely beautiful to the high side. The problem with the NASDAQ trying to trade independent to the S&P 500, guys, normally the NASDAQ loses this. So if we get an initial sort of push up on the NASDAQ, guys, and it doesn't go anywhere, guys, you watch these guys turn and come back down the other way. All right, so we are low volatility trading today. Guys, and if the volatility drops a lot further, guys, we'll just park it and say, all right, let's do a Q&A. There's obviously a lot of questions that we can run through. Now, across to the Europeans, guys, a couple of things that I've noted. Your volume and volatility is not too bad, guys, because at this point in time, and probably for the first 35 to 40 minutes of the session, you won't be affected by the US public holiday, guys. But the further we get into the trading session, if Europe doesn't go absolutely gangbusters in either up or down, if we don't go absolutely nuts, guys, we might find that the Europeans also grind to a halt as well. Milan, how are you? Hope you're fantastic. So for the FX traders, guys, we've got an incredible sell point here at 384. Now, that is typically, guys, once the cash market has opened. So we are about 6 minutes away from the gun going. For those of you who are looking for pre-market reversals short, guys, there's an absolutely wonderful short sitting here. Now, for us to get that short, we would need to go up first before we go down. The buyers do own the stair step. The buyers do own the stair step.
60-minute extensions there, look.
Thank you, mate.
60-minute FTX extensions and 60-minute FSEX extensions. It's failed.
Right. Absolutely brilliant. Okay, so guys, you see, sounds like God is talking in the background there. That is young Damsey. Guys, so there's a number of traders that have got their microphones turned on. Guys, so if they see something I can't see, they'll say, hey, by the way, you've got a 60-minute extension. Now, guys, the reason we can do that, okay, so perfect extension works. So guys, can you see the FDAX has actually come up to the 133 fib extension and failed there? That 133 is typically where the FDAX fails. Right? So that's made great Fibonacci work. No question about that. The flip side of the Fibonacci, guys, again, there's a number of people with their mics turned on. Guys, so if they come in, if they see I'm doing something or making a mistake or doing something along those lines, guys, absolutely brilliant. One thing I do love, guys, about trading as a group online, as we do every day, is that if I am going to make a mistake or my Fibonacci's in the wrong spot or somebody's got a different opinion, we can share that opinion. Guys, the whole idea behind doing that is we trade as a family. We all intend to make as much money as we possibly can. And as soon as the market stops, we stop and we go and do something else. So that's what we do. Now, guys, for the European-based traders, we've got around 4 minutes to go, which is brilliant. Question there, SBR short reload daily chart. Petros on NASDAQ, I trust. Let me just double check for you. 100%, mate. So FDAX. So you are correct. You are correct on the NASDAQ. You are also correct on the FDAX. Yeah. So if the FDAX goes much higher, guys, if the FDAX goes much higher, this is an absolutely incredible selling point, right? So right here, 384, amazing sell point. If these guys do run up here, guys, run into the R1, turn around and fail and come back down again, going to be absolutely amazing to watch, right? So we've got to keep an eye on that. Now, with 3 minutes, guys, 3 minutes until the gun goes, the German prelim CPI will come out sometime tonight. Normally, that doesn't have an effect on what we're doing, but guys, if you see the European markets flickering a little bit, it means the news has come out. And so if we see big flickering, guys, I'm not expecting it to move the market. It's not high impact news, but if we do see the flickering, then we should be good to go. Now, that being said, guys, the Europeans, because it is not a public holiday, they may run completely independent to the US. Steve, I thought you said a 4 hours swing long. Let me just double check for you, mate. Okay, great point. So great point. So Steve, I've got sellers owning the stair step. All right, sellers owning the stair step on the NASDAQ 4-hour chart, which means we're in a swing trigger long. Now, again, swing trigger long, sorry, let's say wrong language. That is a static bar reversal long on the NASDAQ 4-hour chart. So it's a swing trigger on the S&P. It's a reversal on the NASDAQ, guys. Now, that brings up a really good point because normally when the NASDAQ and the S&P disagree with each other, the S&P 500 wins that battle. So, guys, just to reiterate, on the NASDAQ 240, we've actually got a really, really lovely -4 rated static bar reversal long. That's why the NASDAQers are trying to push up, but the S&P 500 doesn't agree. Okay, so great point. Absolutely good. Great point to clarify. Now, guys, down here to the FESX, we do know the Europeans have gaps to close, so it is highly likely, guys, highly likely that the Europeans will go down, and that's what our analysis is suggesting. It would be absolutely lovely, guys, absolutely lovely if we push up first, fail, and come back down. That is a ratio-based static bar reversal for those of you who do look for reversals that are set up in the pre-market. Again, both of these yellow circles, for those that don't do what we do, they're both selling trades, please. All right, so we're going to be selling the market. I'll call you into that as required. Now, guys, we all know it's a US public holiday, so volume is down. We'll just see what happens. Some public holiday sessions, guys, the market goes absolutely ballistic. Other days, it just freezes. Something to keep a very, very close eye on, guys. The FESX is right on the cusp, guys, of reloading multiple daily static bar reversals long. Now, to do that, they're going to have to go down first. So, guys, if we do get a really, really nice sell down on Europe first, don't be surprised if we sell down for maybe 15 to 30 minutes. We close the gap, and then they go absolutely gangbusters to the high side. So, again, we're initially, guys, we're looking for long-range shorts, and then we're looking for long-range longs. As the 4-hour chart is going to be saying exactly the same. Now, for the FDAX traders, just be super aware with 60 seconds until the gun goes. You have opened, guys, in a triple 4-hour reversal long. Right? So there's a lot of buying energy, guys, in Europe. That's why Europe may go completely free range when it comes to comparing what the US is doing. right, down to the 60-minute chart. Guys, there's not a great deal of info, guys, on the 60-minute chart other than, guys, because we're running into a Fibonacci extension on the FDAX. If we run a Fibonacci extension on the FESX, we'll probably find they're running into exactly the same levels, which they are. What we'll also do, guys, is complement the buying move up with a Fibonacci down with the intent of these guys buying to their 76s and failing. So, guys, as we come into the gun going, please be aware that you need to make sure you've got the right accounts loaded. Guys, please make sure you've got the right accounts loaded. If you're trading live, you're trading live. If you're in sim, you're in sim. If you're copy trading, guys, make sure your software's set up, ready to rock and roll. I will do my absolute best, guys, to guide you in and out of the market. Nice. We're going to have a lot of fun. And at the same time, we're going to do what we do every day at this time, which is trade the best we possibly can. Now, for the FDAX traders, we're looking for the opening candle to hit excess volume, as the FESX would typically go back down to the 50 fib of the day. So let's just wait for the excess volume to come through. Okay, so let the buyers go, guys. Just let these buyers rock and roll. So let's just see what they've got. They might be chasing yesterday's high. So we're certainly climactic. Guys, some of you that don't know what we do, this candle that has gone change color is telling us that the buyers are now using too much volume. So the buyers are using too much volume. Let me see. NASDAQ traders, keep a very close eye on that static bar reversal, please. Let me see if this is a 15-minute fib. No, they've gone way beyond the 15-minute fib. So, guys, I would suggest at this point in time, the FDAX, again, where are we at? So we're 3 minutes and 30 into the candle. So the FESX has gone exactly to the 76 fibs that we were talking about, them potentially failing at. For the FDAX traders who trade the opening candle, the only thing I can give you at this point in time is an R1 reversal. But we have to be relatively careful about the R1 reversal because it's straight back into the pre-market box. So again, we are setting up a reversal, guys, here under the R1. The sellers are going to have to completely punish the buyers. All right, so let me just watch what they're doing, guys. Again, let's have a look. If the sellers do sell down through 405, guys, if they do sell down through 405, they're likely to cruise down under this 133 fib extension and cruise down quite nicely. The FESX is already trying to go down. So at this stage, guys, for the FDAX traders, we have a reversal under the R1. However, I would suggest it's quite an aggressive trade because we're selling back down into the pre-market box. Okay, now if the FESX is definitely determined to sell down, as it's probably going to drag the FDAX with it. The ultimate key price for the FDAX is, can they actually sell down and hit 19,400? As that will be the ultimate sort of acid test for these guys, because that is the 133 fib extension. So what have we got, guys? Got a lot of volume being used on the FDAX at this point in time. There's a lot of volume being used on the Europeans, the FESX to buy the market, guys. At this point, around about 3 minutes into the opening candle, no one's really buying the buy. Now, for the NASDAQ, guys, if you are short on the NASDAQ, underneath that static bar reversal over there on the left-hand side, guys, you would be looking at a 10-tick first target. All right, a 10-tick first target. Now we're approaching the last 90 seconds, guys, of the candle on the FDAX. So we are approaching the last 90 seconds. This is where we have to be very, very careful, guys, about entering that R1 trade. So at this point in time, the R1 traders at 0.5, guys, have not been picked up on a trade. Okay, so the R1 traders have not been picked up. So we're going to have to wait for the opening candle to close, guys, and ultimately try and diagnose what the FDAX is thinking about doing. As obviously this opening candle is incredibly climactic, so I would suggest they're probably thinking about selling the market down, right? Probably thinking about selling the market down, but at this point in time, we're looking for a valid signal. So what I do need for the FTX traders, guys, I think Damsey's Fibonacci is absolutely on the money here. What I do need for the FTX traders is to get back down underneath the R1. So around about 19 seconds to go. I'd love them to move back under the R1 and under the pre-top. We may be picking up a pre-top reversal. Guys, if we close over the top of the R1 in around about 8 seconds time, guys, we won't be able to trade the FTX long or short. Okay, so we won't be able to trade it long or short. Okay, at this stage, we've got no trade. We've got no trade on the European market so far. Now, the flip side of that no trade, guys, let's just see what the buyers do here. For the Nasdaq traders, guys, I'll keep a very, very close eye on what Europe is doing. For the Nasdaq traders, if you trade the opening candle, you've gone short, guys, at 865. It's gone through its target at 862, and the trade is effectively done. Now, again, if we want another trade on the Nasdaq, guys, it's very, very tight trading. If we want another trade there, we're going to have to wait for a brand new higher high. I note the S&P 500 at this stage has got nowhere near high enough to pick up those short trades. All right, let's see what the FDAX is doing here. So at this stage, guys, for the R1 reversal traders, we don't have a trade on. If we go much higher, guys, it looks like the FDAX maybe, again, Europe is famous for trying to go it alone when the Americans have a public holiday. So we're looking for basically really obvious dual failure. So guys, looking for really, really obvious failure on both European markets simultaneously. I may have to make my Fibonacci bigger here. All right, there might be another Fibonacci. That the FDAX traders are trading to. That would explain that volume burnout as well. So, guys, what it ultimately means is at this stage, FDAX, I can't send you long or short. Let's just watch what these guys do. So I can't send you long or short. Nasdaq traders, you may be short, guys. You may be short from the static bar reversal, that little yellow circle over there on the left-hand side. So you may be short already. Guys, I'm going to get rid of your Fibonacci extension for you there. Let me just clean up this Fibonacci for you. So again, guys, tight price movement at this point in time. If you are short on the Nasdaq, guys, for those that know what we do, you're short at 865. So short at 865. Guys, if you do trade the opening candle, these guys have pushed up. Clearly they've tried to take the stair step. That didn't go very well for them. So then they've decided to turn around and sell the market down. Now, note, guys, down here on the S&P 500, your volatility is still relatively low, guys, at this point in time. Now, okay, for the advanced FDAX traders, guys, as soon as I put those 76 fibs on, you guys have got a higher high into the 161.8. Guys, you may have gone short on the FDAX underneath these 76s. Now, the flip side, guys, of that, some of you may have also spotted the 161.8 fib failure. So I took my eyes off that for a split second. If you are going to short, guys, if you are going to short the FDAX, guys, we're sitting at relatively good volume at this point in time. If you are going to short, guys, underneath these 76s, okay, we've got an entry point, guys. The entry point is exactly 18. Now, we're going to have to watch very, very closely that they basically wind through 13, which is your risk control point. And ideally, what we want them to do is start marching off down towards the 50 fib of the day would be incredible. So again, for the FDAX traders who have experience, guys, you've got a 76 fib across your chart at 19. You're short at 18. Your first target and risk control point is 13. You're currently sitting on that risk control point and first target now. Right, so if you wait for the opening candle to close and then trade, guys, your short on the FDAX is reinforced by the FESX failing at its R1. So that's obviously a good thing. The flip side, guys, we would need to get well under the R1. Okay, well under the R1 before we picked up a longer range, far more impressive reversal. At the moment, guys, the buyers on the FDAX are very, very unimpressive. So the only reason they're unimpressive is normally because the sellers are showing some kind of credence. Guys, let me catch up with the, okay, perfect. So with all of that said, guys, if you are short on the FDAX at 18, your first target is 13, and you've already gone through your first target and controlled your risk. Now, at this stage, guys, we've got a gap up on the FESX. So again, we're going to see a little bit of opportunity buying here, guys, on the FDAX. Again, if we do sell down again, guys, again, it's only for the experienced traders at this point in time. Guys, your short is at 18. Your first target is at 13. Your first target is at 13 as a risk control point. Right, you're through your 13s again. So at this point in time, guys, we are setting up a reversal here on both European markets. Guys, the deal with the reversal is we do have the R1 in the way. So the sellers are going to have to do a really, really good job, guys, of pushing down through the R1, getting down through the pre-top as well, as in order for us to see a bit of a correction on the European markets. Now, the flip side, guys, the flip side of that correction on the European market, okay, the flip side of the correction on the European market is that the seller's volume at this point in time would suggest we're actually going to get a nice little move here. So what does it mean? Guys, if you're short at 18, your first target, guys, your first target is 13. Your second target is 0.3. Your third target, guys, so again, 5, 10, 15, 20 please. So 5, 10, 15, 20. This is proving to be an absolutely stunning FDAX trade. All right, so if you're short at 18, guys, your first target is 13, your second target is 8, your next target is 3, your next target is a 97. So you guys have gone through your 5, 10, 15, and 20 point targets. Massive well done to FDAX traders. That is a delightfully wonderful trade. Okay, now delightfully wonderful trade. Now, the flip side, guys, of that, if you're short on the NASDAQ, guys, as per the static bar reversal over here, if you are short on the NASDAQ, you want to try and hold that, guys, for the experienced traders up to 15 minutes to make sure you're going to try and hold it on for maximum profit. FDAX traders, if you know what we do, right, higher high, 161.8 fib extension failure, you're short under the 76s. You've also got a ratio-based static bar reversal here with a -4 rating. Guys, that -4 rating is what is bringing most of the traders into the market, right? So if you are short on that, absolutely brilliant. Guys, Remy, if you're short on your static bar reversal, mate, you're looking for a 50 tick target. So I've gone 10, 20, 30, 40. We've gone 50 ticks to the downside already for those of you who look for 50 tick targets. Note, please, guys, that the ABC stair-step pattern on the S&P 500 has failed. This is why the NASDAQ is selling down. That's why we're using the S&P 500 as a reference chart for the NASDAQ. Now, for the NASDAQ traders, FDAX, you're looking really good at this point in time. So, guys, we've read the market very, very well again today. So if you're short on that one, guys, absolute bomb trade. So well done. Absolutely brilliant. It's all about, guys, again, the FDAX and the FSX failing in cahoots with each other. We do that every day. So, so there's no surprises there. Now, what does it mean? Guys, if you've gone short on the FDAX and depending on, guys, your risk control point targets and similar things, that's gone exactly where we're expecting it to go. If these guys can't get back down through the 50 of the day, guys, and they can't get down to the 100% Damsey extension, so this is what Damsey was talking about before, guys, if we can't go down there, we're going to get a swing trigger long. So the FDAX is going to try and push again to the high side, turn around and fail again. All right, so this is where we're going to get America and Europe not agreeing with each other, which is actually okay. Remy, you've gone short for 21 times 5. Well done. FDAX short. Terry, how are you? +5, +11, +25. Well, that's a great trade. Remy, second target. Oh, guys, okay, lots and lots and lots. Okay, lots and lots and lots. Perfect. Okay, well done. Well done. Oh, here we go. Okay, so for the FTX traders, guys, really important point. I know I put these notes on the board for a reason. Guys, so 433 is a very, very strong sell point. 384 is another amazing sell point. So if you've sold off the high of the day, you're going to try and hold the FTX as long as you possibly can. Allison, beautiful trade. Well done. Okay, now, Nazi, you guys have gone outside your Fibonacci, which means I'm going to have to give you a new one. All right, so at this point in time, the NASDAQ trade is with 20 seconds to go on the candle. Guys, we're not going to enter a new trade in the last 90 seconds of this NASDAQ trade. Yeah, Allison, beautiful trade, mate. Well done. Well done. What we're looking for, guys, I want the S&P 500 to close back over the top of its previous pivot. Let me give you a new, let me give you a new price. Okay. I don't have a buying signal on the NASDAQ, guys, for the beginner traders. Now that's going to be a little bit annoying. Sorry, guys, I got a little mozzie flying around here. So it's if I wave my hands, I'm not being rude. What we've got, guys, for the more experienced traders, obviously the market has sold down. NASDAQ has stolen so sellers have stolen the stair step. Some of you do trade a double touch reversal off those 76 fibs. If you have gone long on the NASDAQ, guys, because you have experience, you've gone well beyond your first risk control point, please. All right, so well beyond your first risk control point. FTX, guys, we're still looking for sells, right? So FTX, we're still looking for sells to the downside. The flip side of the sell, as you are looking at a pre-market box, reversal here. Now, again, guys, we've got the 50 fib of the day sitting here at 349. So the 50 fib of the day is sitting here at 349. So again, if you are going to go short as a pre-market box, guys, they've got to absolutely glide through that 50 fib, guys, because obviously the 50 fib is very well known. Now, the FTX, guys, is highly likely to do that. Guys, is highly likely to push down.
4-point turning bar on FTX too.
Thank you, mate. I appreciate that. So at this stage, guys, for the FTX traders, we do have a pre-market box reversal. The FESX does agree with that trade. So your risk control point, again, guys, is going to be sitting at around about the 5-point mark. You're going to be sitting at the 5-point mark as a risk control. Now, I'm in that exact trade, guys. I'm in that exact trade myself at the moment. So I'm looking to push the market down, guys, and smack through 395. I actually got a better fill, guys. I got a fill at 401. So again, I would really love the FTX to sell back down, guys, to the 50 fib of the day. My target price for everybody else is 395. Right? I want these guys to punish 395. Cody, thank you for the info in the background. Guys, at this stage, the FTX traders who trade the pre-market box, guys, again, we've just got to keep a very, very close eye, guys, on this 50 fib. So if you guys move 4 points towards your 5-point target, we would start to reduce the risk on your trade. You're at your 5-point target now. Go on, FTX, go and kiss and touch. Now, guys, I got a 1-point better fill. I got filled at 0.1, so I'm already out at 5 points on 5 contracts on the FTX short, guys, underneath the pre-market box. All right, so that's me, guys, sitting just shy of my lower KPI for the day. If you are short, guys, on the FTX at 400, guys, your target and risk control point is 305. If you're short from the top of the jar, guys, because you're slightly more advanced trader, particularly if you traded under these 76s, you are absolute legends because you've gone through your long range target as well. Okay, so well done, everybody. Ed, nice trade, mate. Well done. Zoe, it's only 5 points, Zoe. It's only 5 points. But again, Zoe, please note over here on the left-hand side, over here, the volatility is under 25. So that means the 5-point target is the first thing we trade for. Now, I've only gone for a 5-point target because of the 50 fib of the day is in the way. If we get under the 50 fib, guys, we'll wind that out to that previous ATM, Zoe, of 5, 10, 15, and 20. And what I'd want you to do is I'd want you to stack more contracts on the 20-point target. So if you do get a runner, it's going to be a big payer. Even if you want to do that on the micro FTX, there's nothing wrong with that if you're getting used to what we do. Now, for the FTX traders, You're in your last 90 seconds. Be very, very careful, guys, about getting romanced into a trade in the last 90 seconds. What we're looking for, guys, for the FDAX traders, if we close above the R1, we're going to have to go for higher highs. We're looking at a 161.8 or a 76 fib failure. Guys, to help you with that, okay, we're going to draw a Fibonacci down in order to catch them on the way up, guys. And what we're looking for is failure at these 76s just here. Shelton, 19 points on the FDAX over KPI. I'm going to... yeah. Mate, it's funny. We've only been trading for 19 minutes and you've killed it. So well done, mate. That is fantastic. So guys, please, 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 please. I know I say it a lot. If you're over your daily KPI or you're getting very close to your daily KPI, well done, guys. So take the money and run. Come back tomorrow, do the same thing again. We're just going to keep doing it over and over and over again. And a couple of the traders, guys, picked up the 433 short. If you did, you've absolutely nailed the top of the market, guys, which is absolutely brilliant. Okay, so last 90 seconds, guys, is gone. So well done, well done, well done, guys. A reasonable start. What we need for the FDAX traders now, guys, you've got a gap up on the FESX and a gap up on the FDAX. What that means is we're going to see buying typically before selling. So I would really love to see the FDAX cruise up here, guys, and muck around these levels before we look for another short. We do want to hit that 80% volume threshold, guys, on the FDAX if you're looking for a burnout style trade. If they come and tag the 90%, guys, we're looking at shorting under the 76s. All right, so you guys are ready to rock and roll. You know what to expect. For the NASDAQ traders, some of the experienced traders have gone long over the top of the 76s. If you have done that, guys, it's gone more than 20 ticks to your high side. So please note your volatility, guys, is at 27, which means your risk control point is around about 12 to 13 ticks. What does it mean? It's gone well beyond your mathematical risk control point. So if you are long, guys, on NASDAQ, and you're on multiple contracts, I would knock one target out about now because that's what the volatility of the market tells us to do. And I would try and run, guys, for a slightly longer range target. If Europe runs, NASDAQ is going to run. If Europe doesn't run, NASDAQ is not. So what I want you to do, guys, is if you are long off the 76s, make sure you're positive with your trailing stop on your long range target so you can't lose any money on the trade. Now, FDAX. Back to you guys, double gap up, FDAX and FESX. You are definitely looking for a higher high, guys, before we look to short. And we want basically complementary signals, which we're setting up quite nicely at this point in time. Now, that being said, Dan, you've traded well already, mate, so you're done. Could you please be a little bit more clear? Zoe, I'll do my best. I'll do my best. Now, Zoe, in saying that, a lot of the traders that are in the LTR with us today, we're sitting at 75 traders in the LTR. Most of them trade with me every day. So this is kind of normal for them, but I will be as clear as I possibly can be. Zoe, what you're looking for on the FDAX is we want a higher high, which we now have. We want the buyers to push up to these 76s and fail. And then we're going to go short underneath these 76s at 423. If we get a push up to the 90%, we're going to go short under the 76s at 425. If we get a tiny little candle closing this little red one here, like we've got this little green one here, it's referred to as a static bar reversal short. If that closes under the R1, we'll be going short under the R1 and trying to push it back to the 50 of the day. Now, speaking of that, the FESX, Zoe down the bottom. Great question, Zoe. At the moment, the FESX is gapped up. So you see how these guys have gapped up over the top of their 50%. What we want is we want these guys to get below their 50%, which they're trying to do at the moment. That's a V2. That's a V2 delta, guys, on FDAX for the delta traders who trade V2s. Just be aware you've got the R1, guys, but the FESX does give you permission to go short. My delta, guys, on my screen is 411. So it's a 411. The R1 is at 406. Okay, so for the junior traders, that's probably a little bit tight. For the senior traders, you're going to try and push down through the R1 to the 50 fib of the day. And Zoe, ultimately, we're in the last 90 seconds of the candle. So it's all now down to the reference charts. So the two charts down the bottom, the S&P and the FESX, they're basically going to tell us what to do on the higher charts. Right, at this point in time, we've got the S&P 500 stuck on a pivot. Right, so basically anybody that's gone long over those 76s, guys, on the NASDAQ, all you've done is you've gone to your short range first target and you've tagged your risk control point. Okay, that's all you've done. Not very sexy, guys, not very sexy, but we are in a US public holiday, guys. So the market will normally move quite well for around 35 minutes, guys, then it'll just freeze. Okay, so now I'm switching, guys, I'm switching back my ATMs. Okay, so I'm going back for a 5, 10, 15, 20 ATM. Just to give you an idea what I'm doing. So I'm switching, guys, to a low volatility ATM on the FDAX. Okay, so 5, 10, and 20 ATM on the FDAX. Let's just see what we've got. Now we are, Zoe. I'll pick on you if I can, because you've asked a great question, Zoe. We don't enter trades in the last 90 seconds of the candle because that will decrease our success rate by around about 25%. Okay. We also don't enter trades in the last 15 minutes of the hour on the FDAX. It decreases our success rate by 30% on, so 70% on the FDAX, 30% on the NASDAQ. All right. Now, for the FDAX traders, so please note FESX, absolutely brilliant guide as to what's going on. Guys, we've got a double gap up on the FESX. They look like they're about to fail at yesterday's high. What does that bring into place for us? As again, we've got a higher high on the FDAX. So if we do get a really, really nice push, guys, towards this 90%, the FDAX traders who trade off the 76 fibs, guys, you're considering a short at 425 with a risk control point of 420. All right, now this is for the experienced FDAX traders. You've got your higher high. So Chloe, exactly what we said before. Sorry, Zoe, exactly what we said before. We've got a higher high pushing towards the 90%. We want to short underneath the 76s. Our first target is 5 points. Our second target is 10 points. So first target is 420. Second target is 415. They're already at the second target. Maddie, nice trade. So guys, the FDAX traders, you've already gone through your intermediate risk control point, please. So no risk on this FDAX, please. All right, classic 76 fib failure. I don't think that fib failure is going to last. So please make sure you've cut your risk on your long range runners. NASDAQers, you've got a reversal that you're not allowed to take. So NASDAQ, I can't give you another trade. If I do have NASDAQers that are long eyes over the top of these 76s, okay, you are wanting to hold that for up to 15 minutes to try and milk the profit. As again, what we're looking for here is we're looking for a counter Fibonacci failure. Okay, so let me get rid of that. We know about all of that. I'm going to draw a Fibonacci down in order to catch them on the way up. Right, so the 50 fib of the micro trend, guys, is your enemy to going long. The flip side of your enemy to going long is that you have been caught, guys. You're basically gapping on this 240 high. That means the Americans don't know what they're doing yet. They're waiting for guidance. So, guys, they're waiting for guidance from FDAX. Now, FDAX, guys, Zoe, FDAX has just gone and created a higher high. So what does it mean is it's reloading the short again at 425. At 425. Zoe, we might need to have a webinar. So yes, you've got a short order ready to roll at 425. Okay, but the short order, just watch your clock counting down because your short order, we don't want to get picked up in the last 90 seconds of the candle. All right, so if you've got a short order, guys, if you're a 76 Fibonacci trader, your short order's on at 425. Your first target is 420. Zoe, promise me you're on a futures contract, not a CFD, please. Yeah, are you on a CFD or futures? If you're on futures, you don't have to cross a price spread. Yeah. We're looking for a higher high, Zoe. Looking for a higher high, which we've got at the moment. Okay, so these buyers are also blowing up their volume, guys. We've hit that 80% threshold. So for those that have traded under the 76s already, guys, again, you are looking for a fill at 425. It has not been filled yet, and we're moving towards the last 90 seconds. So this is where we go from inexperienced traders to experienced traders. Yeah, Zoe, just make sure you're on a futures contract, not a CFD. Otherwise, you're going to have to cross a spread to get into the trade, and the spread could actually be all of your profit. All right, let's have a look at the volume, guys. Volume and territory gained. Right, so at the moment, the buyers are losing control of the FDAX. Guys, if you don't enter a short trade in the last 90 seconds, guys, we're sitting inside the last 90 seconds. Experienced traders, you're okay to go. Guys, so your short is at 425. Your first target and risk control point is 420. We do need the FESX, guys. We do need the FESX to shut underneath these pivots, please. All right, so that looks like the third or fourth push, guys, by the buyers. I've got nothing new on the American markets just yet. Well, that's the fourth or fifth push, guys, by the buyers to the high side here on the FDAX. Normally that gets punished. Guys, normally it gets punished. So let's just see what they're doing. Guys, now, as you know, I've already taken 2 trades, guys. I've been ATM'd on both of them, but I'm sitting at a pretty good risk at this point. Sorry, pretty good profit at this point in time. Let's just see what they do. They're getting punished. The last 10 seconds of the candle, guys, are really important. Right, so the buyers have been absolutely demolished on the FDAX. So that said, guys, for those of you who are not in the trade at 425, if you're not in the trade at 425, you have to wait for a higher high, guys, in order to take the trade. If you've taken the trade once already, you've already profited from the move, guys. So you are waiting for a higher high in order to pick up the second move. FESX, guys, at this point in time, again, we're getting a bit of a knife edge down there on the FESX. If these guys can't go any higher, because we are going to pick up a nice little reversal. Okay, let me just watch what these guys are doing. Okay, so what we want, guys, is again, it's okay if the buyers show here on the FDAX, but we want the buyers on the FESX down the bottom to get absolutely drilled. Okay, now first time entry, guys, absolutely brilliant. Second time entry, it's probably going to go okay. Third time entry, we won't take it, guys, as per the rule of 3. We don't like 3 reversals at the same level because it's normally the later reversal that jinxes us. At the moment, guys, the buyers are not impressing anyone on Europe. Okay, buyers are not impressing anyone, so we're re-engaging at 425. What we do need for the people that are short at 425, go on, sweetheart. There you go, Zoe. 420. Zoe, first target's out. I won't say darling because I get in lots of trouble for that. So you're at your first target, 420. So guys, first target's out. Risk control in, please. No risk on that trade. Try and run for 5s and 10s if you are short under the 76s. Guys, but don't carry any risk on that trade. Absolutely, we are short at 425. First target, 420. Second target, 415. If the FESX reverses properly here, guys, this FDAX trade will probably try and work its way down to the R1 and the pre-top, which is going to take you over your longer range targets as well. Okay, so if you are short, guys, at 425, okay, if you are short at 425, right, you've gone through your first target, your second target, you're about to hit your third target. Have I got more experienced FDAX traders on this one as well? Oh, Zoe, we've got to talk about where you put your stop loss. All right, so Zoe, we might have to tell you where to put your stop loss. All right, so yeah, so you have got nowhere near your stop loss on that one just yet. Okay, so your stop loss on that is your stop loss on a fill of 425. Your stop loss would be sitting around about the 440 mark. Okay, 440 mark would be the spot to have your stop. Guys, again, suffice to say, it's cruised down quite nicely. So anyone that is short on the FDAX, guys, if you're short at 425, first target's 420, 415, 410. You're through your first 3 targets. This is getting ready to, guys, it's getting ready to go long again. So please make sure you've got no risk on the trade. Okay, NASDAQ traders. NASDAQ traders, you guys at this point in time have finally got some mojo coming out of the S&P 500. So if you are long,
Lucky.
Yes, mate.
Lucky at some low volume on NQ.
We are in low volume. Thank you, mate. Appreciate that. Okay, so we're going to have to wait for a volume lift, guys. Let me just put that Fibonacci back on again. Okay, this goes from here to there. Let me just move that comment out of the way of the Fibonacci. Fibonacci is absolutely on the money. So what does it mean for the NASDAQers, guys? For the NASDAQ traders who know what they're doing, if you have experience in this session, You've waited for the buyers to push up on the opening candle. You've gone short underneath there. Some of you have picked up to a 50-tick trade, which is absolutely brilliant. Those that waited for the failure at the 76, you waited for them to push down. You've gone long, guys. That's only gone as far as around about 20 ticks in your favor. Now, I know a number of you made some profit there, which is good. Guys, now understanding it is a US public holiday, we may lose volume and volatility. Guys, now if we do lose volume and volatility, guys, then we can go into a Q&A session where I can answer kind of any question you've got, guys, about anything we do from oil to gold. I'll have to go and get an oil chart and a gold chart. I don't have them in this workspace. Because any questions you've got about anything, if the markets slow right down, I'll pull all of the professional traders off. We'll be done for we'll be done for the day potentially, guys, with the profit that we've already got. Okay, so we'll just wait and see. Let's just wait and see, guys. It comes down now. It comes down to the volume on the S&P 500 and the volume on the FESX. These guys are really angry. As I did say when we came into the session that the FESX, the Europeans are angry, guys. For those of you that were watching earlier, I said the 433 is an absolutely stunning selling point. Guess where they've just stopped again? They stopped at exactly 433. Bloody brilliant. Daniel, you're done. Okay, perfect. So volume's no good. Okay, mate, that's all right. Okay, volume's no good. We'll just wait for the volume to guys. The volume will come back tomorrow. It'll be back with a vengeance tomorrow. So again, if you're watching what we're doing, going, okay, it's a little bit slow today. It's very slow today, guys. But suffice to say, it's looking pretty good. Remy, you're out at 11 times 5 contracts. Well done. So for the FTX traders, please note that with the volatility sitting around about 25, you'll need to carry at least a 15-point stop. That's why we're looking for targets of 5, 10, 15, and whatever we can get our hands on. So when I talk about a 5-point risk control point, guys, that doesn't mean a 5-point stop loss, right? We're always carrying around about a 15 to 20-point stop on the FTX. And we're basically running the market down through multiple targets, but we are controlling our risk very, very quickly. So if the market doesn't run in our favor, we get paid on our first target. All of our stop losses are positive. We basically then have no loyalty to the market because the market has no loyalty to us. Now, guys, note if I can, every time we've got a really lovely sell down, guys, on the FTX today, it's basically failed, right? So the reason that this is occurring, guys, as we did as we came in, guys, the reason this is occurring is because the FESX, let me just get rid of that extension for a moment. That extension right there on the 4-hour chart, guys, the FESX is basically in a triple long, okay? And that little minus 26, can you guys see that little minus 26 hiding there? This minus 26 rated signal to the high side, that gives the buyers in Europe a huge amount of confidence, like huge confidence. The flip side of that confidence, though, is they have to close the gap. At some point in time, the FESX is going to go back down here, and it's going to drag the FDAX with it. All right, now as we cruise through, on FDAX, let's see if we got good volume coming back on NASDAQ. Guys, if your volume is sitting solidly under 300, we're going to have to park the NASDAQ for a little bit, guys, until the volume comes back over. For the FDAX traders, we could be moving beyond your current Fibonacci. So let's have a look at what these guys are thinking. All right, so FDAX, you've got your higher high. Your volume is okay, guys, at this point in time. We're losing volume everywhere. All right, so let's strip this chart off. I would suggest, Damsey Cody, open to your steering on this one, but I would suggest the next trade, guys, on the FDAX, 76 valid now with a higher high, Matt. Absolutely, it is 100%. But what I'm actually looking for, mate, what I'm looking for is the FESX. I don't want the FESX to close over its R1. Otherwise, we can't actually sell the FDAX short when the FESX disagrees with us and allowed to. So, guys, if the let me have a look at the volume. Look at this, guys. So see this FESX. These buyers are not buying this. Look at the volume on the previous candle, guys, was what, 4,500 contracts, and now they're down to 800. So no one's buying. No one's buying the buy on Europe. Now that means that we're probably going to see this candle completely capitulate. Okay, as in they're going to run out of steam. Interesting point, guys. For the 161.8 fib extension, we now have a higher high. All right, so what does that mean? The buyers, let's have a look. How much? Look, the buyers, guys, the buyers want to push the FDAX up, and the FESX has just completely disagrees. It's just now for the FDAX traders who are already profitable, what you're looking for, guys, is ideally, we need this candle to close. We are in the last 90 seconds, so we need the candle to close. We'll then interpret what the candle means. Young Zoe, sorry, I called you Chloe before. So Zoe, we don't enter a trade in the last 90 seconds of a candle, particularly on the FDAX. We wait for the candle to close, and then we make a decision as to what the market is going to do. Now, at this point in time, guys, we do have a higher high on the FDAX. Have a higher high on the FDAX. It looks like we're failing at the green 76s off the 4-hour chart, which is 100% on the money. So for Matt, who was asking the question before, the higher high does allow you to reverse off these 76s, 100% correct. It also allows you to reverse off the 90% of the retracement that I've taken off. All right, now for the FDAX traders, you're also about to pick up a double failure reversal, guys, off the 161.8 fib extension. Now that's a slightly advanced trade, right? Slightly advanced trade. But it looks like the market, basically, guys, looks like the Europeans have run out of steam to the high side. Certainly on the FESX they have. All right, so let me put your Fibonacci back on. So, young Matt, can you see, mate, can you see this 90% fib failure just here? Okay, we've also got a gap down on the FDAX, guys. They've actually gapped the market down. So these buyers are likely to push up here and just fail badly. All right, but again, if you just let them push, let them do what they want to do. Oh, oh, did you see that? Oh, dearie me. What did I say? They're likely to push up here and they're going to fail badly. You silly people. Now I laugh at that because that's where they failed yesterday. It's like, come on, there's nothing new. There's nothing new on this one. All right, so for the experienced traders, all right, so for the experienced traders, you've waited for the buyers to push up and fail at the 161.8 extension. You've then gone short, guys, at 435 with your first target at 430, your second target at 425, your third target at 420 and 415. Now it's gone more than 5 points in your favor and taken out your first target, guys. Stop loss comes through to +2. Can't lose any money on the trade. If this is the reversal point off the 161.8 and the green 76 is hiding behind, if this is the reversal point, then you're in for a massive trade. If it's not the reversal point, you've gone through your first target, your second target, they've failed exactly where they did yesterday, and you guys have got no risk on this trade. So this is money for jam. Matt, well done, +5, +2. Matt, volatility, Matt, just for you, volatility is cruising down into the 20s. So low 20s, Matt. Instead of going for 5 and 10, just go for 5 and 5 on every trade. Because instead of getting 5 and 2 and getting pissed off that you keep getting 2s, you're far better off just hitting at 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. We'll pick up another 2 or 3 trades, mate. If you know, 10 points, 400 Aussie dollars, 2 or 3 more trades, you're still looking at $1,000 day. Yeah, mate. So yeah, just switch that ATM around. Cody, take this as soon as it pushes up. I only take it once. Mate, exactly, Cody, you're on the money, guys. Cody is a very talented trader based in Bali. He's normally one of my backup voices. He's also the voice of the moderating team tomorrow. Is the higher high here? So Zoe, you're brand new. The higher high here. I was going to say the wrong word again. The higher high here, Zoe, that green Fibonacci there. Okay, that green fib is one of the most famous failure points in the European market, full stop. They've created a higher high. They've failed at the 161.8. They've given you a double failure reversal off the 161.8. So your entry is at 435 and your long range target is down here at 415. You've already gone through 5s and 10s and 15s and you're about to go through 20. 20 points, Zoe, is 800 Aussie dollars if you're an Aussie, or if you're American, it's 500 US dollars. You've just gone through a 500 US dollar target. So Zoe said she's starting to believe. That's got to be an endorsement. That's got to be an endorsement. Now, that being said, Zoe, we do this every day. We do this every day. So my point being is that if you're looking at this going, how is it that they're doing this? We don't do anything else. We don't do anything else. This is all we do. We just push the market up and down. And when it fails at the same area, like Cody's just said, fails at the same area where it did yesterday, we just wait for the buyers to push in. You saw them get smashed. So it's like, like no, these guys are going to get drilled. Because what it means, and it's kind of disappointing, there's a whole lot of people out there in the world. So, and I'll tell you what they did, guys. See this big green candle here? There's a whole lot of people in the world that don't know what they're doing, that bought off the top of that green candle, which they shouldn't have, straight into an ambush point, and they got absolutely drilled. So guys, just because you get a strong green candle doesn't mean you buy the market. Now, for all of those samurai traders, guys, have a look. It's a non-CORPC bar. So you guys tell me what that means, all right? So the samurai traders, a non-CORPC bar. Zoe, that means it didn't close outside the range of the previous candle. Ahmed, what does that mean? What does that mean? Exactly right, Petros. Buyers are failing. Yeah, absolutely. So, and Zoe, the most important point, that's not we call it CORPC, right? Closing outside the range of the previous candle. The buyers, if they were strong, would have closed outside the range of the previous candle. They would have also closed above the 433 sell point I put on the chart more than an hour ago. Because they can't close above that, all the professional traders went, you know what, let's smack them. And we smacked them. Now, not being rude, Zoe, it happens every day. It happens every day. Anyway, it's the way it is. So guys, can you believe we're 45 minutes into the session? Can you believe that? Anyway, so we're 45 minutes in. Guys, what it means for the FTX traders. So Zoe, you're brand new. We don't take brand new FTX trades in the last 15 minutes of the hour. All we do is manage our current trade. So at this point in time, anyone who is short would just be managing their long range targets and their risk, but understanding no one has any risk on the FTX, please, guys. Your entry was 435, risk control point 430. It's gone way beyond your risk control points, guys. If we get below the R1, this is going to turn into a really, really long range, amazing trade, and no one has any risk. No risk on FTX, please. Now, for the NASDAQers, guys, pretty slim pickings today, but it is a US public holiday. This is our first TTP presentation where it is a public holiday, and you can see the markets are now. In fact, you guys tell me, how do we know the markets are running out of steam? There's one thing to look at on the NASDAQ, guys. It's doing it right now. What do you think that one thing is? Guys, what is the key to understanding that the market, the NASDAQ is becoming dangerous to trade? Guys, dangerous to trade. Well done, well done, well done. This is all correct. Guys, so again, for the brand new traders, guys, we've got this big sell down, failed at the brick wall. Some of you went long, picked up a profitable trade. Now, exactly right. Zoe, what we're doing is all of these candles are now closing inside the range of this large selling candle. So what's actually occurring, all right, so guys, again, little lesson. Any questions, guys? Hit me up. We do have a masterclass tonight, guys, for the samurais. You guys are doing smaller chart, larger chart combination trading tonight as your November masterclass. Zoe, there's the, let me get rid of that Fibonacci for you. All right, so there is the low point and the high point of that candle. Every one of these candles is now closing inside the range. Now, this is the reason I mention it, guys, is we are consolidating. There's no question. Our volume is dropping. There's no question. There'd be a heap of traders in here that are trying to bounce off levels, guys, and then just going to destroy their trading accounts because they don't actually have a volume filter. Guys, see down here, the volume on the NASDAQ has dropped into the low 100s. That means all the professional traders are just sitting back going, you know what, I'm done. I'll just wait. I'll just wait for the public holiday to come back. Cody, last 15 minutes of the hour, we often lose volume if it doesn't pick up in the new. So there you go, Zoe. Young Cody is in Bali. So again, if the volume doesn't pick up, he goes and has a coconut and watch sunset on the beach. Like, we're done. We're done. But it gives us a really good, guys, it gives you guys a really, really good familiarization as to what happens on a public holiday versus a non-public holiday. I mean, yesterday, the market was gangbusters. gangbusters. Today it's blue. Tomorrow it'll be going nuts, guys. All the funds traders are going to come back up to Thanksgiving and go absolutely crazy, which is what they do. Nathan, 28.25 per contract. Great result, mate. Well done. That's fantastic. So huge result. Adam, you need a link for the masterclass. Ooh. I can probably do that, mate. I can probably do that. So towards the end of the hour, mate, let me send you that link through and I can get you into that. So guys, for those that are samurai traders already, we're doing smaller chart, larger chart combination trading, guys. It's your 4th masterclass for November. Zoe, we did a month of masterclasses. We did a month of masterclasses. So every Thursday night, we're doing a masterclass on a different aspect of trading. Pullback. So we've got a 2-phase. So we call it a 2-phase complex retracement. So Zoe, there's phase 1. There's phase 2. Now, guys, question for the samurais out there, 2-phase complex retracement means what chart should be drawing your attention? 15-minute chart, well done. So some of you don't have the link for the masterclass tonight. Okay, that's a bit strange. Right, I may have to give you all the link for the masterclass. keep you out of mischief. Keep you out of mischief. Now, that being said, guys, we've got a 2-phase complex retracement here. So we're drawing attention to the 15-minute charts at the moment. Guys, we're coming into the close of the 60-minute chart. So no new trades, please. Guys, no new trades. The only exception, guys, FDAX, you are parked at this point in time, please. So don't push any buttons over there. If the NASDAQ, guys, was to sell down to the 50 fib of the day, okay, being a pivot, and the S&P 500 was to do the same, we may be looking at a trade, guys. So the only trade we can pick up in the last 15 minutes, guys, is a pivot-based reversal. All right, we know about complementary signals. We put that on before. All right, so let's go this way. Let's go this way, see what we can find. Longer range charts. Okay, at this point in time, so we are in the last 15 minutes, guys. For those people that don't trade the last 15 minutes, don't be romanced into pushing a button, particularly FDAX. You guys had a reasonable little session today, so you don't want to be giving back money in the last 15 minutes. Guys, we may pick up an hour of the turn reversal. That's the next trade that'll set up on the FDAX. So let's just wait for the hourly turn. Now, the flip side of that, the 15-minute NASDAQ chart, guys, they're trying to close an ABC reversal to the downside, and it's not working. So therefore, I'd say coming into the new hour in 8 minutes or so, we're looking for longs on the American markets. But again, we've got 8 minutes until we confirm what they're actually thinking. 8 minutes. Now, at this stage, we've got a very strong sell candle, guys, on S&P, got a strong sell candle on the NASDAQ. The flip side being is the NASDAQ is very, very likely to try and push down to the 50 fib of the day, simply because it's a comfort zone. I see the S&P 500, guys, has gapped down at the start of this candle. Okay, so everybody see that we've gapped down under the previous pivot. So what does that ultimately mean? Guys, this candle should, both American markets should end up selling towards the close of the candle. Okay, I'm just watching what's going on. We've got a little bit of a news announcement coming through. So I've got no alert on my phone yet. Let's just watch very, very carefully. The S&P, guys, so at this stage, S&P traders, you've had a very, very quiet day. The reason I say that is because normally, when it's not a public holiday, opening candle, these guys would have pushed up. Guys, pushed up, failed at these 4-hour levels here, picked up that static bar reversal over there on the left-hand side and actually sold short quite nicely. That's exactly what the NASDAQ did. Okay, so for those people that trade the opening candle, pushed up, went well beyond your entry point, put the sell entry on and just let it fall away for 15 minutes. Some of you have actually done really, really well on that trade, which is great. Now, any questions, guys? Any questions? Ahmed, yeah, failing at the earlier 90. You are correct. So I've just made that Fibonacci a bit bigger. Guys, I can put it back to where it used to be, which is there. And again, these guys look like, that looks a lot like a 30-minute chart. It's not, it's a 15-minute chart, Fib. It's a 15. Okay. Now, for those that are looking for the hourly short, those looking for the hourly short on FDAX, we are setting up an absolutely beautiful sell signal on the 30-minute chart. So we've got a 30-minute chart static bar reversal, guys, setting up short on the FDAX, right? So that doesn't mean FDAX traders don't jump in on another trade just yet, but if we do get a buying push, so as we move into the new hour, if we do get a buying push back up to those failure levels, particularly that 90% or that 433, guys, if we do get a push back up there and they fail badly, we're going to get a really, really nice turn short in the new hour. Yep, Zoe, 100%. Yeah, don't take a trade in the last 15 minutes. For the NASDAQ, you'll increase your failure rate by 70%. No, sorry, wrong way around. FDAX, increase your failure rate by 70%. NASDAQ, increase it by 30%. So there's no point. You're better off waiting for the hourly turn, picking up all the 60-minute chart traders as the markets close, or as the candle closes, I should say. Now, speaking of that, 60-minute NASDAQ chart, right? 60-minute NASDAQ chart wants to try and go long. Let me flip that round. The S&P 60-minute chart wants to go long. The NASDAQ wants to go short. Now, the NASDAQ's going to lose that. Okay, so the NASDAQ will typically lose that battle. So therefore, we'll just wait for this. So this candle, guys, for those that don't know, is called the Widowmaker candle for a reason. This is the candle that destroys people's trading accounts because they think they're missing out on the next hourly move when in actual fact they're not. So this is the candle you want to be very careful of, particularly if you're tired or you've had a big week. This is the candle that will romance you into making a mistake. Petros, you've done 18 points in total. I'm done. I hope everyone has had a positive night. But I have had a good night so far. I did get ATM, so my stop loss, my risk control came in a couple of times, but that's what it's designed to do. Right? So I'm happy with what I've done so far, because running this webinar and trading at the same time can actually prove a bit of a challenge. So I'm happy with what I've done. For the experienced FDAX traders, you can see these guys are pushing up into this 90%. Right, see they're pushing up into the 90%. That means a number of traders would be sitting underneath those 76s. Only if you trade the last 15 minutes, guys, would you do that. Now, I suppose the complementary factor, we speak about complementary signals, guys, you have let me get rid of that. You have a static bar reversal short on the FESX, okay, just there. What they've actually done is they've gone and refilled all of the shorts because they can't get through yesterday's high. They've refilled all the shorts and they're going to have another crack to the downside. Okay, now flip side of that is for the really careful traders, you're waiting for this candle to close. This is painful to watch. I know. I know it's painful to watch. The flip side being is, guys, wait for the hourly close. Again, we will probably get another trade on the FDAX and it will probably move quite quickly. No doubt about that. Petros, 18 points. Great result, mate. Profit is profit. No, you've done. Yeah. Zoe, don't put an order on now, though. Don't put an order on now. This is the candle where you will get caught. Okay. And literally we say caught with, you'll get caught. So just chill on that one. No. So guys, for the experienced traders, guys, again, just watch the FDAX very, very closely. It looks like we've got, guys, it's at the least a triple tier reversal. FVSX is setting up the same thing. So if they can't get a really, really strong close on the 60-minute chart in 2 minutes and 15 seconds, we're going to find the sellers will try and come in. But we don't know what the 60-minute chart close is yet, guys, because we're not there. So this is where we don't try and second guess the direction of the market. Otherwise, it can get a little bit painful. So let's just wait and see, guys. Let's just wait and see. In a perfect world, guys, in the perfect world, the FDAX is going to push up here, give us a higher high, which would be amazing. Right? It means the buyers own the stair step. So we're looking for selling-based reversals. There are still people buying, guys. There are still people out there in the world that are buying straight into that sell point at 433. We are definitely not joining them. Okay, so just let them bop along. As in fact, I tell you what, there's going to be an even better Fibonacci for the FDAX traders. All right, so if we Fibonacci the most recent little push down there, so we might actually get a much cleaner pattern. Okay, so see those 76s just there? This is probably what's going to set up for us. So they might buy the market up. They might push through that 161. How long we got to go? 50 seconds. Perfect. So what they might do, guys and girls, is they might push up, push through these levels, turn around, fail at the 161.8. It's going to be a pretty brutal failure. The buyers, the green team, are going to push the market up. They're going to try and get up here. We're going to outflank them at 433, and then we're going to see them get bopped again. But guys, we've got to ideally watch for the push inside the new hour. And what we're also watching on very, very closely, guys, the FESX. If the FESX bottom right-hand corner gives us a very, very strong buy candle, then it's going to bring in traders into the FDAX. If they start to push through towards the close of the candle, then they get thumped at the end of the candle. So in the next 12 seconds, we're going to find the sellers will basically try and take over Europe. So let's see what they do. Let's see what they do. NASDAQ, nothing new at this point in time. Okay, that's a big gap down. So guess what? These buyers have failed again at 433. So what we're looking for, guys, on FDAX is we're looking for a higher high. It would be amazing if they push through these 76s. This is only for those people that are not already at their daily KPI, right? If you're already at your daily KPI, guys, we're looking for a push well beyond that 161.8 extension. Don't fail there, please. Guys, there could be FDAX traders using the older Fibonacci. Okay, they are using the older fib. All right, so let's get rid of the new fib, which is this one here. All right, so what does it mean, guys? For the experienced traders, you're looking for a push well beyond, okay, well beyond that 90%. Okay, this 90% horizontal just here. Well beyond that, guys, before we're looking to go short. I do. Oh, here we go. No, we're not. So, okay. Guys, so certainly I'm not buying the market, guys. I'm getting ready to sell it. Okay, so I'm getting ready to sell. At this point in time, if they do buy, guys, if they do buy through, that's okay. Let them go. We'll just wait for them to get to the top of the jar, and then we'll grab them and bring them back down the other way. Now, the flip side of that, let's just watch what these guys are doing, guys. Their volume is climbing real quick. So for those who are looking for a new trade, guys, for those who are looking for a new trade on FDAX, okay, you're looking for a potential entry underneath that 161.8 extension. As their volume is climbing, we've got good time on this one. So again, if you are going to short the market, if you're going to short the market, guys, you trade a 161.8 fib extension style trade. If you trade that trade, we're looking to try and pick up a short. The flip side, I'm just making sure these Fibonacci's are correct. So a kind of safe entry, guys, if there's such a thing as a safe entry in trading, if you can hold the risk on the trade, guys, I would suggest these buyers are probably going to capitulate towards the end of the candle. Yeah, we're climactic on FESX, guys. We're into key Fibonacci levels. So again, if you are going to go short, guys, at 435, your first target is 430. You're through your first target already. Your second target is 425. Guys, you've controlled your risk on your 161.8 extension. Matt, if you are short at 435, mate, on both of your contracts for a 5-point target, your target is 430. Okay, so 435 is the entry. 430, guys, is your target. Now, Zoe, you look like you're on a CFD platform if your market is moving before us. Okay, if your market is moving early, your broker is manipulating your platform. Okay, so if you're moving before us, it means that someone's playing a game with your data feed. Right, so for the FDAX traders who've gone short at 435, your first target is 430. You've gone through your first target, guys. You've controlled your risk and you can't go any further. The DX, I'm not 100% sure on that DX feed. Zoe, is it a CFD or a futures contract? Is it a CFD or futures? Because you might find if it's futures, your price will be different to ours. It is okay. It is futures. I'll have to have a look at it. I'll have to have a look at it. So guys, either way, FDAX traders, nothing on NASDAQ at this point in time. FDAX traders, you've gone short at 435. Guys, your first target is 430. We've obviously punished that target quite happily. Guys, if you bought, if you waited for the buyers to push back up again and you've sold again at 435, guys, we are in the last 90 seconds of the candle. So just be aware that right at this point in time, you're probably better off waiting for the candle to close. If you have gone short at 435 a second time, you're back at 430. So you're at your first target and risk control point again. The FESX, guys, bottom right-hand corner looks very, very angry. All right. So I would suggest the buying on the FDAX is over. Guys, again, this looks like a combination, guys, of the higher Fibonacci I put on. So not this Fibonacci just here. Guys, so the higher Fibonacci I put on, they've basically tried to push outside the Fibonacci range. They've got caught at the 78 Fib, guys, off the 4-hour chart again. Guys, so they got caught here and they got caught here again. You guys have shorted underneath the 161.8 extension, and it's gone really, really well at this point in time. All right, so FDAX traders, if you do need another trade, you are done and dusted on that one. There is no question. NASDAQ, guys, your volume is a little bit low. All right, so I would suggest at this stage, NASDAQ traders are probably going to pack up for the day. He's probably going to pack up for the day. Potentially. Let's just see what the volume does. Guys, has anybody got any questions at all? Anybody got any questions at all about, again, what we've done today so far? Now, the only reason the FDAX traders, guys, are getting more trades, the only reason they're getting more trades is Europe's basically got a pretty close to normal trading day. Volumes, yeah, okay. So that being said, guys, Europe's got a pretty close to normal trading day. The NASDAQ is not a normal trading day at all. The flip side of that is Europeans are very, very predictable. It's very predictable. And the NASDAQ is less predictable today because the volume's quite low. Now, that being said, let's have a look. So we're just watching. We're 6 minutes in, guys, 6 minutes into the second hour. For the FDAX traders, again, for the junior traders, we're looking for a higher high before we take another short. Guys, the reason being is that at the moment, the buyers are trying to push through this 433 sell, the sell point we identified earlier in the market. Long story short. They're trying to push through that. If the FESX does push through and hold above its R1, guys, that will be the end of the reversing on the FDAX. I note that the 161.8 fib extension, guys, has caught them again. Guys, so that was Damsey's Fibonacci off the 60-minute chart. So Damsey, a big shout out to you, mate. Bloody amazing Fibonacci work today. So well done. All right, so let's see what we've got. So that 161 is holding obviously really nicely on the FDAX. The FESX is absolutely done buying, guys. So I'd suggest by the end of this candle, 2 minutes and 40 away, we're going to see the sellers make a pretty strong statement on the FESX. And as a result, everyone else is going to say, you know what, I'm done. And again, the buyers will literally give up. The buyers will literally give up. That delta, guys, so we've got a delta on the FDAX, right? Little selling delta just here. Okay, so that sell signal sitting there at 425. Now, let me just check your counter Fibonacci. Right, so all I'm doing is drawing a Fibonacci up. Drawing a Fibonacci up to catch them on the way down. Okay, and if the 50 fib of the micro trend is right here, which it is, there's going to be a whole lot of people that are really concerned about selling that down. Okay, so at this point in time, guys, what we would need, again, we don't want to enter in the last 90 seconds. We would want this candle to close below that 50 fib. All right, so below that 50 fib, right there, we need it to close below in 1 minute and 39 seconds before we look to try and pick up that delta short, guys, at 425. So we don't have permission to trade the delta yet. the way the FESX is moving, guys, if we do get a red candle closing down here on the FESX, if we do get a red candle, then effectively the FDAX will just fall. Okay, but we don't want to assume a close over the 50 fib of the micro trend. I said we don't want to trade that delta short until we definitely close under that 50 fib, because there will be some traders around the world that are trying to swing off that 50 fib and go back the other way. Okay. Now, so just watch the FESX, guys, bottom right-hand corner. They're currently toying with, are we going to close back over yesterday's high or not? So when these guys are toying with a pivot, so they're obviously toying with it right now. If they're toying with a pivot, we just leave them alone until they close either above or below. If they close back on the pivot, guys, we're going to be parked again. Let me grab that link, guys. Young Ahmed was missing a link. So let me just go and grab that. I'll tell you where the link is, guys. I'll tell you where the link is. For all the Samurai traders, the link is in the members area, guys, in behind the Thursday night masterclass, icon in the actual members area itself. All right, so Ahmed, can you jump into the members area for me? So the Samurai members area, and just confirm that the masterclass link is hiding there behind the November masterclass icon. That's where it's actually hiding. Rob, no, it should be in the new area, and it's certainly in the old area. Certainly in the old area. Let me just okay, but I can flick, guys. I can flick you. No, Zoe, not locking you out. There's a masterclass on tonight for all the Samurai traders. Yes, and there's a masterclass on for all the Samurai crew. We've done 4 masterclasses this month, all designed to get everybody ready for 2025. That's the key. Now, guys, with the FDAX at this point in time, so Nasdaq volume is now down in the hundreds. So you guys are going to park on that one. The flip side being is that we've got a delta short, guys, on the FDAX. We can't trade short at 425 because we're not allowed to assume a close over the 50 fib of the micro trend. So there will be people that are going to try and buy that, guys, and send it back the other way. We do not want to sell the FDAX at this point in time. Ultimately, what the FDAX traders are waiting on, guys, they're waiting on the FESX to decide what it's going to do with this candle. Guys, at the close of the previous candle, the FESX gapped up and is now trying to sell down. So that means not even the FESX traders know what they're doing. Perfect, Adam. Okay, mate, thank you, guys. Yep, link is there. So, guys, the members area, so Samurai members area, old members area, the link is there, ready to rock and roll. Now, tonight, you guys are doing smaller chart, larger chart combination trading, and we're going to do some work on the US close for Ash, guys, young Ash, who keeps on asking. Okay. Rob, there you go, man. Okay, perfect. So, guys, look, any questions? We're 10 minutes into the second hour. We're waiting for Europe to wake up. At the moment, guys, you see these guys are wrestling. What I'm looking for is a strong selling candle. I'm looking for a strong selling candle, and then I'm looking for these guys to buy back. So for the FDAX traders, I need a strong selling candle. I need that strong selling candle to close. I then want to see the buyers try and swing the market back up, and we'll pull the short at 425. Yep, we're into low volume. There's no doubt about that. Hey, Tim, how are you? So how did you go, mate? How did you go? You've probably, I'm thinking 3 times 5. I'm thinking 3 times 5. 6 times 5. Holy moly. So guys, for those that know, Tim is working on the trading the delta. So trades the delta in isolation, and 6 5-point trades on the FDAX is a beautiful session, mate. So a massive well done. All right, so the delta, that's all the little lines on the chart for those that don't know what it is. Tim is perfecting the art of just trading the delta, and it looks like it's gone really, really well, mate. So that's fantastic. I was thinking 3 trades, but 6 trades is more fun. Petros, Tim could probably do that. Tim could, yeah. Zoe, that algorithm runs at about a 97% strike rate. So it kind of doesn't matter. We don't, in that case, we don't really worry about covering risk. Yeah, we don't worry about it. That algorithm's been running since 2009. So there are tens of thousands of trades. Just so you know. Petros, is Tim the coder? Tim is very smart. I won't let the cat out of the bag on Tim, but he's a very smart guy, Petros. Yeah, very, very smart guy indeed. So guys, we're basically now on FTX. We're waiting for permission to trade. That's what we're waiting on. Okay, now everything we've touched today, guys, everything we've touched, provided your stop loss was in the right place, everything has gone in the right spot, which is a good start. The Fibonacci, guys, obviously the Fibonacci of the day, again, is this 60-minute chart fib picked up by Damsey. The 161.8 extension is basically as high as the FTX goes. It normally doesn't go beyond the 161.8. So all of these buyers, guys, all of these buyers that have been trying to buy the market, again, they may know something I don't know, but they're trying to buy the market into a myriad of resistance, right? So up here, we've got the pink 61.8 off the weekly chart. Guys, you've got a blue 76.4 off the daily chart. You've got the 4-hour 76.4. You've got the 4-hour 78.6. I mean, that there, guys and girls, if there was such a thing as a Fibonacci sandwich, there's very, very little chance the market's going to get through that. So that may be for those people that don't trade with Fibonacci, guys. They might be trying to swing the market or do something along those lines, but there is a lot of resistance to the high side. That's crazy resistance. Nazi, I've got nothing for you guys. So, like, any questions at all? Any questions at all about anything that we've done today? Petros, I will talk to Tim. I'm due to have a powwow with Tim. I will actually have a powwow with Tim tomorrow and ask if he's happy to do a class with you. He's very good at what he does. So I'll ask. He's a lovely guy too. So I'll ask him. Why not? FTX to justify the next entry. Zoe, great question. So what we need for an entry on the FTX is we need the FESX, right? Down bottom right-hand corner. They've got to decide what they're actually doing, right? So this is classic European indecision. So normally, Zoe, just so you know, thank you, Cole. Thank you, mate. Appreciate that. This is, so you see here, Zoe, you've got all of these candles that are now closing on a pivot. So this basically means the Europeans are not making a decision either way as to what direction the market is going to go. Now, again, if we get a close, so we're back to that concept of CORPC. So what we're looking for is a candle to close outside the range of the previous candle. That's going to convince other traders to potentially join the market. But the buyers that are currently trying to buy the FTX clearly can't see the FESX because the FESX is trading back into its R1, which is a very, very strong resistance level. You can see on the FESX here, they've actually tried to get through the R1 twice, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. So what does it mean? So again, we just wait for the candle to close, because if we get a really, really strong buying candle here on the FESX, in 2 minutes, 2 minutes and 57 seconds, if we get a really, really strong buying campaign, then again, these guys are going to start climbing and we'll go for bigger Fibonacci's and awesome. At this point in time, though, we don't know what they're doing. Now, if we look at FTX current volume, so let's say we're halfway into the 5-minute candle, the FTX volume is at 83. Okay, it needs to be at 300 before we consider taking a trade, right? So when we were looking at taking the short before, right, the volume was over 360. So that's down here in the bottom right-hand corner. Volume was over 360. That means all the professional traders have got permission to trade. What happened? The market shot down off that 161.8 and went straight through the targets. Now the volume is down in the low 100s. There'd be a whole lot of traders going, oh, what's gone wrong with the market? So if that stays down, Zoe, if that stays down, then basically everyone's sitting on the fence waiting to see what the FESX does with its R1. Yeah, low volume.
Speaking of low volume, mate, I'm out of here. It's too late.
Are you going for a coconut?
I sure am, mate.
You're a legend. All right, mate. All right, well, have a great coconut. Have one for me. I'm going to be doing this and then a masterclass. So there we go.
All right, I'll see you tomorrow.
Well done, mate. Good job. Good job. So guys, Cody's running the LTR tomorrow, as he does on Fridays. And I'm suggesting it's going to be really volatile. Right? There's going to be a heap of traders that are taking positions at the start of the week. They're going to try and get out. And those positions, guys, I'm just having a look at what the week's done so far. Let me just have a quick look. I'd suggest tomorrow, guys, the market's going to go down, right? Just based on the daily charts, they're kind of stretching, but they've kind of lost the momentum. So I'd suggest, so something to watch, guys. Something to watch really, really heavily tomorrow, actually, as we wait for these candles to close. That mathematically, the FESX must go back down to its gap, right? So see this little gap in the market here; it must go back down. If we, this is called trailing in an island, guys, or trading in islands. Okay, so see that. Right, so you see my little box on the FESX, that basically represents like a candlestick island. If they stay here all day because of the US public holiday, the first thing they're going to do tomorrow is tank straight back down to the gap, because they won't leave the gap closed at the end of the week. Now, the FDAX is going to have to do a lot more work. The FDAX has got to go all the way down here. Look at this. This FDAX has got to go all the way down there. So I'd suggest, guys, if we don't get a really, really crappy German news announcement tonight, I'd suggest the FDAX is also going to form an island, and tomorrow it's going to plummet through the bottom of the island, and off we go. So for the DAXy traders, guys, what have we got? Let's get rid of our FESX island down the bottom here. You guys have closed on a pivot, and then you've gapped above the pivot, which means we can't go short. Guys, we can't go short on FDAX, and we can't go long. Okay, so we can't go short because the FESX is trying to sell back into a pivot, and we can't go long because we're going long into a 4-hour Fibonacci and a daily Fibonacci where the market has failed at multiple times. So in my humble opinion, guys, I might be wrong on this one, but we can't go up and we can't go down. We're just waiting for the next close of candle to work out what they're going to do. Gap from yesterday, close of the week volume. Yeah, so, well, what we've got, Zoe, on the FESX is mathematically, they must come back down here. So mathematically, they've got to go there. There's no question about that. They probably won't do it today because there's no motivation to do it today. If we get negative US news tonight or something, they might try and close the gap in what we call the post-Euro lunch move. So again, this session runs for 90 minutes, and then we've basically got a 90-minute break. Then the European traders come back from lunch and they have another crack at the market. If they want to close the gap, then it'll be in the second 90-minute trading session. So 90 minutes of this session, 90-minute break, and then they'll come back and they'll probably try and hit the gap. Absolutely. Petros failed ABC long on the FTX 15-minute chart. Let me have a quick look. They are, mate. So they're going to try and hold. They're going to try and hold above that 15-minute chart breach point. Again, for them to do that, right? For them to do that, they're going to run into these Fibonacci's here. Now, again, guys, the Fibonacci's, they've served us very, very well already today. If they decide they want to close above the fibs, that's okay. They're allowed to do that. Right now, we're looking for agreement from the FESX. So guys, before on one of the charts, I had a sign up saying, let's look, guys, because it is a public holiday, we'll look for signals where all of the markets agree. At the moment, we can't go short on the FESX. We can't go long on the FDAX, right? So if anything, guys, what we're going to be setting up towards the close of this candle, so 2 minutes and 26 from now, is we're going to be setting up the potential for a short. I see what these guys are doing now. Look at this. So they hit that daily 76, that blue Fibonacci got absolutely drilled. All right, so they'll probably hit it 3 times. All right, so just so you know, the rule of 3, if the Fibonacci is going to hold, they'll hit it once, they hit it twice. If they hit it the 3rd time and then get smacked, then the Fibonacci is going to hold. If they don't get smacked on the 3rd time, it's not going to hold. So we're just looking for a smacking, guys. So no, see, there was the 2nd smack, wasn't really that effective. Watch for the 3rd one, guys. The 3rd one is normally the telltale. It would normally come about 90 seconds before the candle closes. So just watch them, see if they're doing what they normally do. So about 8 seconds, we should get a smack. We'll see what they're doing. Are you going to smack? They hit the other way, guys, right on time, right on time. So it means at this point, guys, it means at this point that the FTX traders are now gaining confidence that the FESX is going to break its high and hold a new high. But that's okay. So it's okay because we're in the last 90 seconds. So if this candle, guys, if this candle on FTX gets pushed back down to a tiny little candle underneath that 161, then we're going to go short again at 435, provided our volume, guys, provided our volume is over 300. If the volume is down in the low hundreds, guys, we're parking the session, which we do. That's what we do. We don't want to become cannon fodder for other traders. Different if you use the 24-hour charts. Zoe, we do. So we use a 1440. So use a 1440 minute chart because it's more accurate than a daily chart. There's a lot of people out there in the world that use daily charts, but the 1440 minute chart is a lot more accurate, particularly for futures traders. For other traders, the daily chart can be quite good fun, but for futures traders, the 1440 you'll find is used by more traders than the daily chart. So therefore, the 1440 is more fun. FESX goes from 0.6 to yeah. I don't use the full data set. Don't use the full data set. Never have, and it goes really well. So we don't use any of the old data. So this data through here, Zoe, never used it because there's gap Fibonacci's that these traders also work on. And with the gap Fibonacci, you've got to be very careful that you don't make a mistake with that one. Now, guys, at this stage, NASDAQ traders, the big boss is back, guys. So big boss is
Hello,
back.
guys.
Hello, mate.
Yeah.
How are you?
Seems quite interesting. Seems like a duck's like a toddler trying to reach the cookie jar.
You're on the money. So again, guys, a bit of a summary today. So all of the DAX traders that waited for the higher high, waited for the failure of the Fibonacci and sold the market with the stops in the right spot, guys, it's gone really well. Now the volume, guys, has dropped well below 300. Okay, the markets will basically start to misbehave. So, guys, if you are going to keep trading, you need the NASDAQ volume to lift back over 300. You also need the FTX volume to go over 300. What will probably occur, guys, now is they'll rally up, hit the pivot, 90 minutes from now, turn and reverse off the pivot and come back the other way. So that's probably what they're going to do. Guys, but we are right at the end of our 90-minute session. So typically we don't trade beyond this time, guys, because this is when the market goes a little bit free range. I'd suggest the FTX, guys, is going to come up here. Guys, it's going to hit these Fibonacci's up here or the R2 and set up a really nice reversal. But I wouldn't be trading that, guys, until after European lunch. So, mate, all yours. We've had a very slow day on NASDAQ. S&P, complete non-event because of the public holiday. All the love was on the FTX, but we've navigated quite well, and most of the FTX traders have already left because they're finished. So we'll come back. So, guys, can I say a big thank you to the Trading Pit for having us do this session on Thursdays, guys. It's quite good fun to sort of spread.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, well, it's quite good fun, mate, to spread the word globally about what we're doing. As I said, guys, during the session, we've been doing this since 2009. And again, we do our best to try and navigate the market as safely as we can. And today it's gone okay. So, mate, I appreciate the opportunity to present for you. And guys, I hope we've had fun, and I hope we've actually learned some really cool stuff. That would be phenomenal. So, mate, over to you. If you've got anything you want to pass on, absolutely brilliant. The volume is effectively disappearing out of the Europeans now, so we'll go and take a break for 90 minutes and come back and off we go again. So. Perfect. Guys, I think we're done. Done and dusted. So for those of you that are used to what we're doing, again, just another day in the charts. For those that are brand new to what we do, guys, welcome to our trading style. It might not be the same as everybody else's, but it does produce some pretty good little trades. So, mate, I'll hand over to you. I'm all good, ready to rock and roll.
All good. Thank you very much. Thank you, guys, for joining us. See you next
Pleasure.
Thursday.
And as for everybody that is, if you're coming to the masterclass, guys, see you in around about 30 minutes inside the Samurai and masterclass. We'll go from there. So, mate, thank you for your help. Absolutely brilliant. And I'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.
All right, guys and girls. Bye for now. Bye.
Bye for now. Bye.